to Tuesday's Tips with Tanya. I am Tanya Souls. I am the founder and CEO of Souls Consulting and a champion for small business owners, entrepreneurs, and businesses, business owners to create the business that they really want. So today I really want to talk about, because I hear this a lot as a business consultant, especially because I am an HR expert as well. So I do a lot of employment policies. And as you can see, I'm trying to balance YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. So drop in the comments. I would love to see if you're catching me live. And how many of you think that business having policies in your business protect your business? I'd love to see that in the comments. My answer is maybe. It might protect your business. I get the business owners coming to me really often, and they just want a template for all of the required policies that they need in their business. They just want to create policies to make their employees behave the way that they think they should. Or I have clients that'll set up guidelines for themselves on how to keep themselves on track and get their goals and action steps and all of those things. And then they do something totally opposite of their plan. And it takes them in the wrong direction from their goals. So let me say this first. Nothing happens in your business if you don't make it happen. It could be direct actions. It could be a result of your actions. It could be indirect actions. But what you see in your business is a direct result of what you do. So will your policies, whether it's an insurance policy, an employment policy, a standard operating procedure, whatever it is, it will only protect your business if your actions align with the policies you have in place. I see this all the time. I'll give you an example from back in the day. Back in the day, when I worked in the healthcare world, we had the policy that patients were required to pay at the time of service. When they became new patients, they signed on the dotted line. That was the requirement. That would be great for cash flow and save us from having to bill and having to do a whole lot of other things if patients paid at the time of service. Policy had been in place for decades. And when I say decades, I mean decades. But patients never were stopped at the front desk to make a payment. Patients were never stopped after I saw it happen. Assistants, have a great day. Nope, you don't have to stop. Even though they had a payment due, even though there was an arrangement. And so out walked the door the money that should have been being made. Well, then we have to bill them, and they're making sometimes $5 a month payments on $1,000 bills. But then when this problem became a huge problem and we corrected the procedures, because the patients were so used to having that flexibility to pay what they wanted when they wanted. And then we actually started saying, well, we need to have you pay at the time of service or have you pay before your appointment or those types of things. Patients were ticked off. I pay when I get my statement. Well, we can see on your account history that's not true. But when you have a policy and what the actions are happening don't align, the results you're hoping for don't happen. And then when you want to fix it, it sometimes doesn't have the best of consequences. Just yesterday, I was having a chat with a commercial insurance agent, and he's seen a surge of businesses that established with the best of intentions to do business one way. I mean, we've all had to pivot, we've all had to change how we do things, especially over the last 2 years. And then as they changed their services, expanded what they do, changed how they were using one piece of equipment or doing something, and their core product offering ends up being totally different than what they had originally intended. And then there's a claim. Something bad happened. And when the investigation happens on whether to pay the claim, the carrier's looking at, well, you told us that you were offering professional services, but in reality, you are now offering construction or some crazy thing. And they're like, no, we're not going to pay your claim because your policy doesn't match what you're doing. Another example of where this happens, HR. As many of you know, HR is my passion. And in HR, your actions speak way louder than your words, way louder. So if you have a policy in place, but excuse me as I cough, you have a policy, but you don't follow that policy is worth nothing. And in fact, it can actually get you in trouble. So I see this all the time. We want to use progressive discipline. Okay, that's great. Are you going to do it every time? Are you going to do that with every employee? Are you going to do employee evaluations every year for all of your employees? If you're not actually going to do those things, you're opening yourself up to liabilities. Because why did Sally get this treatment and John get that treatment? Why did Sally get 3 chances and John got fired on the first problem? So the moral of this video, the meat and potatoes of this video, make sure that your actions align with your policies. If they do, 100% your policies will protect your business. But if you create policies or procedures or buy policies because someone told you to, and it does not match your business, it's not going to protect your business. If you decide to write a plan to do business a certain way and you're going to handle things a specific way, but then shiny objects come along and you decide to go off in this other way, the plan isn't going to help your business. If this is an area that you struggle with, if this is something that is really challenging to stay on track and make sure policies match your actions, you have to set aside intentional times in your business to evaluate these things. If you're flying by the seat of your pants with a wing and a prayer, you definitely need to connect with experts who can help you review your actions, many of which will be considered a free consultation to help make sure that you aren't voiding any effort you are putting into place by creating a policy. Make sure your actions and policies matter. This is why it's really important that when your insurance agent calls and says, hey, it's time for your annual review, that you actually do it. We all know no one really wants to. But unfortunately, I have to tell you, I'm the practical solutions. You've got to do those annual insurance reviews. You need to set aside a time to really review your business policies. You also need, if you have employees, you need to set aside time to review your employment policies. Let's be real. We're not doing this all at one time. This is something that you're going to schedule throughout the year. No one has a great time spending hours and hours and hours and hours in one block in mind melting policy land. I write policies and they're still mind melting policy land. So make time to intentionally review your policies to make sure that they match the actions in your business. If you're not sure how to get started or not sure if those align in your business right now, I dropped a link in the description of the video. Grab a time to chat. I'm happy to help you and give you some steps to make that happen. If you've not already subscribed to my YouTube channel, you can click the little link or the little subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube, or you can go to Tanya.tube and subscribe. I would love it. Have a fantastic afternoon, and I will talk to you all next week.